So look, I don't want to talk about the Beckham goal and the Di Canio goal. You've been asked about that. And I want to talk about the Scotland international goalkeeper who was part of that last line that helped us get to semi-finals, top 10 finishes. What do you remember that era in particular?
Oh, fantastic times. I mean, it was, we were just all mates really, playing football and enjoying ourselves, and you know, that era that we came through was a very successful time for the club.
Neil Sullivan, great to have you back with us here today, and of course, as a local lad who came through the youth system, played at the original Plough Lane, I've asked this to a few players who've come back over the years. How does it feel to be back here now at Wimbledon on Plough Lane?
It's great. It's my first time back here. It's nice to have a little look around, so I think we're going to have a look around the stadium and go and see how it is. Just driven past the old Plough Lane where all the flats are now. But excited to be here. It looks good. You know, I like the museum. There's lots of old, few things, bits and pieces in the cabinets, which I kind of remember. I remember some of the shirts up there as well. But to be at Plough Lane, it's great. It's great. You know, I used to be an apprentice and come down here and clean the old changing rooms and sweep the big terrace and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to be back down this way.
Well, of course, as you said, I mean, you particularly were a goalkeeper through a particular era in the Premier League that was so successful with Wimbledon. But going back to it, as you said, being a local lad, being a part of who came through the youth system, and being, I think, endeared as well to the fans over the years. I think they saw you as one of their own.
Well, that was nice. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Morden, which you know is not too far away. I used to be a ball boy actually at Plough Lane. I can remember wearing a green tracksuit. I think it was Way Plastics on the back back in the day. So yeah, I've been up here. I've been here. I remember coming here, watching the greyhounds and the banger races and the speedway where we are now. So yes, I grew up here. I grew up around Morden, and Wimbledon was my first team. I used to come and watch. We used to play a few finals on the old Plough Lane ground when I was growing up, when I was 13, 14, 15 for Merton Borough. So yeah, it's been a big part of my life being around Wimbledon and certainly Plough Lane, yeah.
And you spoke about that youth team, of course, as well, and coming through the youth system. As we said, we had the great Terry Burton here just recently as well. What were your own memories of that? Because it was a hugely productive youth system. Yeah,
I mean, it was tough. It was tough going through. I was a scholar on the YTS in 86 to 88, so it was a bit lively down the training ground. I used to come and do a day release as well. So it was a tough development, but it was good. It was what Wimbledon was all about, and it certainly worked because, like you say, the amount of people that come through that academy, well, it wasn't an academy really so much as it is now. The amount of local talent that came through at Wimbledon, and you know, you mentioned Terry Burton there, and you know, I can remember Jeff Taylor before then, and you know, the amount of players that come through was phenomenal really.
I mean, as you say, players like, particularly that last line of yours, Chris Perry, Dean Blackwell, others who've came through. You mentioned as well the training down there, looking after things as a ball boy. I mean, Damien Francis was another one, wasn't he?
Yeah, Damien Francis. Yeah, we had Neil Art. The list is Stuart Cassidy and Peter Fear. You know, Jason Newell. All these players that came through and went on to have massive careers. Very good players, and we developed really well here at Wimbledon.
So look, I don't want to talk about the Beckham goal and the Di Canio goal. You've been asked about that. And I want to talk about the Scotland international goalkeeper who was part of that last line that helped us get to semi-finals, top 10 finishes. What do you remember that era in particular?
Oh, fantastic times. I mean, it was, we were just all mates really, playing football and enjoying ourselves. And you know, that era that we came through was a very successful time for the club. And I think the good thing is we had a lot of good players. That's the thing that people didn't realise. Wimbledon was a bit, it's Wimbledon, and no one really took us seriously. But I think when you look at the players that we had, the players that went through and went on to other clubs and were very successful, it was a great time, and we were a very good team with a lot of very good players in it. And I think we were underestimated quite a bit really. And you know, when we was going through it and you know, getting to these semi-finals, we felt we deserved to be there because we beat a lot of good teams along the way, and we beat them very well as well. So we deserved to be where we needed to be, but we certainly enjoyed it.
Absolutely, but I mean, of course, we spoke about the youth system, but also the recruitment side of things, picking up gems like Robbie Earle over the years, Ivan Leonardson.
Yeah.
Hughes just showing good business in the transfer market.
Yeah, Dean Olser scored loads of goals. You know, John Hartson, we got John Hartson as well, and it was people wanted to come to the club. You know, it wasn't the glamorous club that, you know, they might have had offers to other clubs, but they wanted to come here because they knew there was something special at Wimbledon, and they knew they would enjoy their football, and they knew that we wanted to win and be successful and take the club as high as we could. And everyone, to be fair, who came into the environment fitted in really well and helped. Well, you can look around the museum and where we were and how far we went.
So of course you went on to Tottenham, to Chelsea, to Leeds. I remember the time, of course, as well when Ards was back in charge down at AFC Wimbledon. The opportunity came along, and interviewing you down on that morning, down I think by the goalpost as well when you first came back to us as well. And you're like a kid again, basically, being back amongst the Wimbledon environment, yeah? Yeah,
I mean, Neil Ardley was my roommate at Wimbledon, so we know, you know, we was together for a very long time. I think, you know, his wife is godmother to one of my kids, and, you know, we spent a lot of time together and we had a good time. And, I wasn't playing at Donny at the time, it was my last year. Things were happening at Donny and I was out the side, and he just asked me if I'd come and play, and it was great. I came back down. I stayed with my mum, probably in the same bed that I grew up in. It was a bit uncomfortable. My back was killing me in the mornings when I got out of bed. But it was good. I enjoyed it. And like I say, being around Wimbledon, and Neil done a great job here, and he was a very good manager. You know, I knew him socially, but I didn't know that side of him. But when I came in, him and Neil Cox they were great. They were really good. And yeah, I enjoyed being back down here again and playing for the team. And fortunately, I think the team climbed up a bit, and I think we were struggling with relegation, but managed to stay in the division, which was great. And I got called back to Donny, but I loved it. I enjoyed my time.
But after everything that had happened to the club as well in particular, and the fans did such a tremendous job getting AFC Wimbledon back, and now eventually, of course, having this fantastic stadium that we've got. I mean, you did it, Yuli did it as well, Ards did it. I mean, was it anything that was in your mind, like, if the opportunity comes back one day, I want to come back and play for Wimbledon?
Well, I mean, you never know what's going to happen in football. I was at Donny, I was happy at Donny. They had a kind of a similar rise, really. They were kind of a very underestimated team, and we was up in the Championship and doing well, and then things changed. And I never thought I'd be back down, but as soon as Smarts rang me, and I was like, yeah, of course, I weren't playing. I just wanted to play, and to come back here and play for Wimbledon again and just help them out was great.
What have you made of it, as well? As I said, I mean, the fact that they got the club back, now they've got Plough Lane back as well. It's all been done by the fans. It's tremendous.
Oh, amazing, yeah. And you know, as soon as they took the club up to Milton Keynes, the fans, you know, they stood up for it and went, no, we're not going to have this. This is Wimbledon. And yeah, you know, you had to go off and play football in other places, but the desire to come back to Wimbledon, Merton Borough, and Plough Lane as well is fantastic. I mean, the fans are great. It's going to be really good to be out there and have a wander around and just see what's going on and feel the kind of the spirit of Wimbledon that is undoubtedly still going to be here, because, you know, look at what they've achieved.
Absolutely. So look, somebody I want to talk to you about as well, who's been, in terms of goalkeepers, who's done tremendous service for the club currently as well, because I know he sent me pictures of you, I think, meeting up at a goalkeepers convention, I think, a while back. Ashley Bays, I mean, the work that he's done to produce so many good goalkeepers here over the years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done great, and he's a great character, and he's good. He's one of those guys that I think kind of embodies the spirit of Wimbledon. He's great to have around the dressing room, and and he's obviously exceptional at what he does as well. His work is very good, like you say, to produce the goalies that he has. Yeah, it's going to be good.
So look, of course, I mean, you're guest down here today for the game against Port Vale, but I mean, as well, I mean, what's life like for you now, though? Because it's very different. You were in football for a long time. Very different now, though. Yeah,
I was at Hull. I was coaching. I finished playing. That was my last year, actually. The time I came to play for Wimbledon, that was my final year. So I finished then, went straight into coaching for 10 years, and I gave that up last year to be a driving instructor now, which I'm really enjoying. And the reason it gives me the freedom to come to places like this, because I've been asked before, and I've really wanted to come down, but just being in football, it's weekends, you don't get the opportunity. So I just wanted a change of pace, really, and just enable me to do different things, and this coming here is one of the things that I did it for. So, but I'm enjoying it. It's really good. I'm enjoying it.
That's good to hear. I mean, but in terms of the football, is that what, never say never again? Would you ever consider it?
I went with Scotland. I did a couple of bits. I did the Victory Shield with Scotland under 16s last season. But I would, I think that's probably it for now. I'd probably say that's probably it.
One thing I've got to ask you about finally as well, we had the great Eddie Nisvecki down here as a coach a few years ago. Lovely bloke, but he showed me his hands at the end of his career, and there was one little finger that was going in the wrong direction. How are the hands now, Neil?
Well, that one's knackered. That one doesn't straighten.
Crikey.
I've got a metal plate in that one, so that one doesn't bend very well. But I can hold a pint.
That's good to hear. Neil, it's been fantastic seeing you down here today. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.